Namaste Bitya, Hamesha Khush Raho Bitya. A very good morning to you all. Myself, JVN Dr. Ravi Jain, Assistant Professor, Department of Practice of Medicine at Faculty of Homeopathic Science in Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. In this series of respiratory examination, we are going to discuss about percussion today. In the last lectures, we have discussed about the introduction to the respiratory system. We have discussed about inspection. We have discussed about palpation. And in today's lecture, we are going to discuss about the percussion of the respiratory system. Now, what is percussion? Percussion is tapping on the surface of the skin to observe for any kind of change in the sound. This is the way of doing percussion. The aim of percussion is to compare what is the aim of the percussion, why percussion is done. This we have to understand first of all. The aim of the percussion is to compare the degree of resonance. We have to check for the degree of the resonance over the equivalent areas on the two sides of the chest. So we have to check for two sides of the chest to compare the resonance on the equivalent areas, means the symmetrical sides on the two sides of the chest, and to define any area of abnormality on the percussion node. And then we have to check for any kind of abnormality in the percussion node of that particular individual. I will again repeat it. The aim of percussion is to compare the degree of resonance over the equivalent areas on the two sides of the chest and to define any area of abnormality on the percussion node. Percussion is a crude method of examination, and it can be rather uncomfortable to the patient if performed repeatedly or inexpertly. So, percussion is basically a crude method of examination. This is a very crude method of doing examination, but it can become uncomfortable when you are not expert in that doing any kind of percussion, or if you are doing it repeatedly on the same patient. So, the patient can become uncomfortable in such condition. The normal percussion node of the chest is due to the underlying lung tissue. So the normal percussion node of the chest is due to the underlying lung tissue, and it contains normal amount of air in the air vesicles, air sacs, and air passages. It has a distinctive and clear character of low pitch. So the normal percussion node of the chest is due to the underlying lung tissue. So normal percussion node that is present while percussing is due to the underlying lung tissue, and it contains normal amount of air in the air vesicles, air sacs, and air passages. And it has a clear distinctive character with a low pitch. Now there are different types of percussion notes that are heard while percussing. There can be impaired note, there can be dull note, there can be stony dull note, tympanic note, subtympanic note, hyperresonant note, and bell tympanic note. So there are different types of notes that we observe while percussion. I will again repeat it. Impaired note, dull note, stony dull note, tympanic note, subtympanic note, hyperresonant note, and bell tympanic note. Now, percussion is done in the front of the chest, and note the placement of the fingers parallel to the intercostal spaces. These are the places, points where the percussion is usually done. The hand is placed. Note the placement of fingers that are placed parallel to the intercostal muscles for doing percussion. Now, there are different areas of percussion. All these areas we will be discussing in the clinical class, because it is not possible to discuss everything in the theoretical session. But I will be just naming these areas, and you have to go through your book for more details, and then we will be performing the practical class in the clinical class whenever we are meeting in the clinical OPD. We are doing the percussion in the areas of Coyne's isthmus. We are doing it in the liver dullness and span. We have to check for the liver dullness and the span of the liver dullness. We have to also check for the cardiac dullness and the cardiac area. Liver dullness is elicited in the liver area, in the right hypochondrium. Then we have to see for the tidal percussions. We also have to check for the Probes area. This is a very important area. We have to check for the shifting dullness. In case of excessive fluid, we have to also check for the shifting dullness in the patient. We have to do the Coyne test, and we also have to check for the percussion myokymia that is present in the case of tuberculosis. Right, so all these things will be discussed one by one in the clinical class, and it is not possible to discuss in the theory today. But let's have an idea about all these things. Coin systems, at least these terms should be familiar to you whenever we are doing the clinical examination in the OPD, IPD. Coin systems, we have the liver dullness and spam. We have to check for the cardiac dullness. Tidal percussions have to be checked for. Probase area, we have to check for the shifting dullness. We have to perform the coin test and the percussion myokymia. This is the coin test, how this is done. This is a picture of the coin test, and the detail we will be discussing in the clinical class. Now, there are certain rules of percussion. The rules includes always percuss from the resonant to the dull area over one side of the chest. So you have to percuss from first starting from the resonant area and to the dull area of the chest, and vice versa is not true. So always check from the resonant to the dull area, because then only you will be able to elicit the changes, and vice versa is not correct. And compare the corresponding areas on the two sides of the chest simultaneously. So you have to check for the two corresponding sides simultaneously at a particular point. So if at one point you are checking on one side, then at the same point you have to check on the other side as well. You don't have to go downwards on one side first and downwards on the other side next. No, that is not correct. Percuss at a particular point at one time, and at the same time percuss on the second side of that particular point. So in this way, this is the rule of percussion. Always percuss from the resonant with the dull area and compare the corresponding areas on both the sides. Now, there are certain limitations of percussion. What are the limitations of percussion? It is not possible to percuss deeper than 5 centimeter. So you may not be able to percuss deeper than 5 centimeter. Hence, it is not possible to detect a lung lesion that is covered by a layer of air more than 5 centimeter thick or fluid greater than 1 centimeter thick. So it is not possible for you to percuss deeper than 5 centimeters, and hence it is not possible to detect the lung lesion covered by a layer of air more than 5 centimeter thick or fluid greater than 1 centimeter thick. A lesion less than 2 centimeter in diameter does not cause any change in the percussion node. So if you have any lesion less than 2 centimeter in diameter, it does not cause any change in the percussion node. And if you have a free fluid less than 200 ml in the pleural cavity, it may not be detected in the percussion. I will again repeat the limitations. It is not possible to percuss deeper than 5 centimeter. A lesion less than 2 centimeter in diameter does not cause any change in percussion node, and a free fluid less than 200 ml in the pleural cavity cannot be detected in percussion. So this was all about the percussion of the respiratory system. In the next lecture, we will be discussing about the auscultations. This session was powered by Digital Version 2.0, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. I hope you are satisfied with my digital session. If you have any query, please mention in the comment box and I'll try to resolve it. This was all for today. Thank you very much. We will be meeting in the next lecture tomorrow.